So I love Einat's talk because this is exactly on topic, and I'm going to talk about the firefighting experience. I'm a user researcher, and I recently conducted some studies inside our teams about their on-call experience. So we know what system resiliency is, right? We want to build systems that are, can bear hard conditions, and we want them to bounce, like to go back to action once the incident is over. But I'm actually a more people person, and I talk about the human resiliency. Well, it has some common aspects to it as well. We want people that build stamina and strength, but we also want people who know to adapt when changes come up. So there's actually a lot in common between system resiliency and human resiliency, but this is a developer conference. What is the designer doing on stage? What's going on here? Okay, so I'm going to introduce this framework for human resiliency. You could go check it online, and I'm going to focus on only 3 aspects out of it, and I'm going to give you some questions to ask yourself about your on-call experience and the things you could do to make your systems and humans resilient. The first thing I'm going to talk about is collaboration. Think that just came up, right? Social confidence, we know that's key. I want to talk about asking questions. Look at your teams. Ask yourself, is it encouraged to ask questions during on-calls? What happens when people ask for help? Do people jump in? All hands on deck? Do you know all those? How often does that happen? And what is the team culture around that? And look out for negative reactions. Those really kill the spirit of the people being on call, not having, positive responses when they have what people would refer to as stupid questions about ops. The next thing I'm going to talk about is, let's see if I could pronounce it as Google taught me today, composure. That really means how stressful or unstressful you could be feeling about stuff. And we know this is stressful, right? Fires and stuff, fire hose, all kinds of metaphors, driving over the cliff, as some developers shared with me. So look at your stuff, look at your alert ratings, and just look at a typical shift. Is it even manageable? Like people say, I just get up from my desk and this thing is going to go on fire again. That's not a good place to be. We added, or we recommended and identified, that if we add an emotional aspect to the handoff form, just describe your shift with an emoji, people really felt like this really helps. Yeah, this is more than just, describing the events of the shift. This is really, that's another aspect. Check how the backup works. Are there really backups in place? Like, just knowing you have someone that would back you up could go a long way for people. The last thing I'm going to talk about, sleep, health, nutrition, exercise, all these good stuff. We know we have to do that. But really start by looking at what's the on-call experience. You're going to be surprised to hear people feel physically stressed during on-call. The next thing to look is, do we allow bounce back times? After you get off the call, do you get a day off? Do you get half a day just, to catch up on your exercise or your sleep, whatever that was? And the last thing from the human resiliency aspect is, if we encourage healthy habits between the shifts, we're more likely to have people that could bear the conditions when things don't go quite as well. So the last thing I'm going to leave you with is, human resiliency actually leads to system resiliency, and when it comes to humans, being vulnerable actually makes you more resilient. Thank you very much.